And welcome back to Ears to the East, where I am here with three gentlemen who recently saw the band that you can see emblazoned upon their shirts. Loud and proud, the Lovebite gang are here. I should point out, by the way, I believe, am I right in saying that Neon, you're the only person whose shirt is slightly out of date?
No, this is from the same gig.
Oh, okay. So Neon is more up to date. Who's got the most up to date shirt?
We all have. there was.
Oh, okay.
There was. Yeah, two different shirts. I was greedy. I got both.
I apologise then for my deep-seated shirt ignorance. My merchandise ignorance has before me already. I'm the only person not wearing the shirt.
Be better, you shirt racist.
Wait, that escalated quick. Right, so anyway, hello, gentlemen. I know that you all went to see Lovebite. Was it New Cross Inn?
It was New Cross Inn, yeah. Mm.
All right. Okay. So, well, I guess was it the first time you all saw them as well? Anyone had seen them before?
No, it was a first time they've been in the UK since 2019, I believe. So it's been a long time coming. Yeah, almost.
Wow. Yeah,
almost 5 years. Yeah.
Pre-COVID. All right. So, what was the thing that you guys most noticed? Like something that surprised you, something that stood out to you about seeing them live, about this experience. Can you like point one thing that you really stood out to you?
The rehearsals. I've never been to a rehearsal before. They let us in early, and we got to listen to them mic checking and testing everything. So that was a brilliant experience.
Okay. Apparently, Trick can't hear me.
All right, for God's sake. All right.
Would you like to relay the
question? We've had so many tech issues leading up to this. Am I gonna have to be the relayer? Right, Mr. Trick, Mr. Howard says, what was the one thing that surprised you about this concert in particular? What was the one thing that stood out for you?
I was really, really surprised at the size of the venue, considering as they're a pretty popular band, and I think they could have filled it several times over. So that was kind of like the biggest thing, and also it's not the most salubrious part of London either. I think they could have gone like a bit further west and a bit more upmarket. You know, no disrespect to Chris there, because I know it's not too far from his manor, but yeah, they really did well. I think possibly even they were a bit surprised when they came out on stage and thought, blimey, it's not a very big venue, and there's like several hundred hairy blokes kind of standing there. It wasn't a very particularly diverse audience, I have to say.
I like the
I think was probably the most surprising, but you know, on the positive side, I think they did actually a fantastic job, and kind of rose to the occasion and just sort of like launched it like a little live house, like they might do back home, rather than a big venue, a big arena or whatever that possibly they might be a little bit more used to.
Yeah, I'll take the reins here. Quickly talk for 2 seconds. Howard, do me a favor, back in and out quickly of this call. See if we can get Trick instead of me relaying through the whole thing.
Did that once.
I'm the same with Trick on this one. I think the venue itself was the biggest shock to me, actually. I mean, it's one of those.
Hello.
It's back. Can you hear him now?
Hello.
Oh my God, my ears.
He can't hear me. All right.
So, all right.
That's right. I'll be extra loud so that everyone else can hear me.
Oh God, no, please don't.
So, what about you, Neon? What was the thing that stood out for you most of all about this?
Like I said, it's the venue itself. That's shocking. I agree. I completely agree with Trick on this one. Is the venue was so small, confined. Like horrible, typical British pub with sticky floors and really, really overpriced beer. It's not a venue you'd ever associate Lovebites ever going to, and for all its cons and all the things as a Lovebites fan, I look at it and go like they should never. Miyako's presence and Fami's presence, Midori's presence, even stepping foot in a place like that should never be a thing. But on the flip side, for like the first time ever seeing Love Bites, and the fact that the whole crowd was like 2 feet away from them, and it was so tight and confined, and it was a more, I want to say, intimate experience as well. I mean, God bless the girls. They didn't have much room on that stage, if anything at all. It was like they couldn't move, really. They had to kind of stay in their spots. They tried their best to have Midori and Miyako do a dual solo together. Then after about 2 seconds, they're like, oh, no, fuck this. Because Asami's like, I got nowhere to go on this stage. So, like, in terms of that experience and being dead close and having like loads of interaction, and I think that was the best thing, because it was such a small crowd, because it was such a inclined closed space. Who did we stand closest to? We stood in between Midori and Fami, which was really good. The one thing in my video that when I recorded it, I'm kind of gutted about, is I couldn't really get a clear shot of Haruna, because Fami was just like, boom, I'm gonna stand here, and I couldn't quite get a angle.
So she went up to smile and wave at your camera, and you were like, "Get out the way!
Get out the way!" Trying to get Haruna. Yeah, like we had more interactions with the girls than we had any right to, and I think that's only something that can be accomplished in a small intimate gig like that. Take Baby Metal for example. When you're in a gig with Baby Metal, with the girls smile and wave. It's nice, it's good, but you see it at every single show. You know that's their like practiced little bit where they give the smile and they give the wave and stuff like that. And with this Love Bites gig, because there wasn't that many people there, they felt more free to go interact with everybody. Anybody that was a recording, they were absolute champions, and all the girls did their bits to make sure everybody had a really stellar experience. I think utmost professionalism is what I could say.
Chris, when you saw the sound check, Chris, did you, because you said that's the first time you'd seen anything like that. So, I mean, did you notice anything about the expressions of the ladies or like the way they were acting? Was there any sort of interesting insights you got from seeing that?
To me, like, kind of not really noticed anything because it's new for me. They just sort of ignored that there was anyone here. So they just got on with it and just done. There's a booth behind us. They were looking at him and testing the levels and whatever. So they just literally just solely professional, just got on with it and just sort of ignored anyone, especially like me shouting out. Like they're just like, this is fine for us. Like we're just not there.
Wait a second.
I think the characteristics of the girls like really shone out there a little bit. I think Midori and Fami, you could see, were a little bit more laid back and a little bit more playful with the crowd. Whereas Asami as well, it's like she's great for interacting, but you could kind of tell her mind was like elsewhere. Who engaged with the crowd the most?
Engaged most of the crowd. I was kind of, as Neon said, I was at the kind of Midori and Fami end, and they kind of definitely gave plenty of kind of like smiles and waves and whatever. I would like to have seen Haruna kind of like not squashed up right against the back wall, and I would have liked to have seen a bit more of her, which is it was a bit unfortunate. But I think all four of them, I think possibly Miyako sort of was too busy concentrating and trying not to fall off the stage. She had a rather sort of small little corner, so yeah, it was a bit of an experience to kind of see her trying to kind of like trying to make the most of like the tiny space she had. But yeah, I think all four of them really kind of like really stepped up to the mark. What are the benefits of a smaller venue? Well, obviously being right up close to the ladies, which is the best thing, I think. Although when we got there, Neon stood in front of like the tallest bloke there, and then when he moved out, he was like behind the even taller bloke right in front of him. And I thought trust Neon to like stand behind.
Oh, see, I don't know why the seven. I don't know why.
Neon's not that tall, is he?
No, like 5'7", 5'8", and I'm like, Jesus Christ, why do the 7 foot monsters need to stand right at the fucking front? Like, you fucking 7 foot, like, get back!
But also, I thought, if I take a bit of a step back, a bit kind of left, then at least Neon can go in front of me and I can see over his head. as long as he doesn't stick his phone right in front of my face, and then he can get plenty of recording.
Sorry.
It's like he's there for the whole channel. I'm just there to enjoy the music, and had I not been right close to the front, I probably would have moved right back where the sound's normally a bit better up by the sound booth. So.
Yeah, I think that's a really good shout as well. I was really lucky with that, and I gotta give big props to the Love Bites as a whole, because yeah, I obviously I knew a few people around me. There were some big bastards, but they knew I was pretty much doing stuff for a YouTube channel. A few people there knew me, not to like clout or anything like that, but I did get an awful generous welcome of a lot of people kind of moving out my way a little bit to make sure I got the best shots and the best space. And I got to say, I'm eternally thankful to these guys as well for letting that happen, and anybody else that was at the gig, because if it wasn't for them being understanding as hell, I probably wouldn't have got such great content that I did. So yeah, I appreciate that.
No,
Yeah, I was certainly impressed with the footage you managed to get.
Yeah, actually.
So your head is growing. Your head continues to grow. Your head continues to grow with your awesome footage and parting the audience like Moses Reaper.
Oh. It's amazing, because since I uploaded the video of the concert, I've had so many people comment and go, "Oh, I was there that night, and I saw it. I saw you doing your YouTube thing, but I didn't want to come and say hi." And I was like, "I'm like, no, always come and say hi to me. If you see me at these gigs and stuff, then that's the best part for me, is getting to chat with people."
He literally has no friends. He literally has no friends.
Exactly. I spend all day in this chair recording videos and stuff like that. The interaction with real people is a is a big thing. But yeah, there was loads of people there, and it's been awesome.
So, what did Chris? What did you think of the Atarashii Gakko performance? What are your thoughts on that?
Very good. Very good.
That was the shortest review I think I've ever heard. That was okay, cool. Anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I've got to give a massive shout out to Chicago Jeff. He actually gave us a couple of extra tickets, and I was able to actually bring my niece that day. So Sydney, little 17-year-old, she was well chuffed.
Yeah.
And I love Atarashii Gakko, but she just went mental. So it was a good night. It was a bloody good night.
I like that. Did the show go how you expected? Did they throw out any surprises and stuff? What was the stage and all that set up like, and the interaction with the crowd?
They were very good with the crowd. They were really brilliant. The only one, I'm not upset, but I kind of sulk that they didn't put their helmets on for a Tokyo Calling. I would have loved them to have that crash helmet on, but never mind.
The main question is,
maybe next show.
Was the helmet buyable at the merch store?
No, but the baby metal one, the electric call boy.
Oh,
you can get that on Amazon.
Oh, can you?
Yeah,
sparkly
one. Yeah.
Might go and
I
buy
want to see
that.
Chris in a sparkly disco helmet.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd get to say that sentence in my life.
It's a weapon.
What did you think, Trick? What was your biggest takeaway from Atarashii Gakko? Was there any surprises or anything for you that you thought when you went there?
No real surprises, although I hadn't really kind of cottoned on to the fact that they had their new outfits on, the one with all the kind of like the kanji and AG kind of intermingled. And I love their outfits. That was kind of like a nice bonus. And as Chris said, the interaction with the crowd was great. It was actually a really nice venue. Quite smart, quite clean. It didn't feel particularly packed in. Yeah, the ladies were really great. They all got their kind of like turn at the microphone, and there was plenty of antics on stage. They had a nice big stage, so they kind of like get their proper dance routines going and whatever. Not crushed up like Love Bites. Yeah, I think for the most part it was great. We did have to stand for a long time waiting for anyone to come on stage, which was a bit of a downside. And like most things, the queuing's always kind of like a bit tedious. But Yeah, I got a good position, even though I wasn't anywhere near the kind of front of the queue, so I was quite good, quite pleased with that.
How
And,
how long was the gig?
Part way back is a little, probably between an hour and a quarter, an hour and a half, something like that.
Yeah,
So yeah, it was
quite
it was,
long.
it was quite long. You know, I mean, obviously everyone wants another 3 or 4 songs. But by that time of the night, everyone's also thinking, I've been on my feet half a day. we could go and get a drink afterwards.
Mm.
I think that would be
Yeah,
because there's always a bar and no one wants to go to the bar because they don't want to lose their position. That's the biggest downside. How did the audience differ? Oh, okay, I can answer this one. Okay, so Love Bites, I would say mostly 90% were men and mostly between about 30 and 50. However, Atarashii Gakko was complete opposite. It was so diverse. There was young kids there were girls there were women there were like young men, old men, and loads of different kind of like voices. You can hear lots of different European accents, throughout the crowd. It was unbelievably diverse. And the funny thing was, we came out of the AG show and went for a drink, just as Howard's gonna put up his little crossed fingers. Liam Gallagher had just finished a gig in the main arena, and I know, and their fans were all of one type, old blokes, 40s and 50s, with a few girlfriends in tow, and you think there's such a contrast between like our little show and like we've got everyone from all around the world, and then Liam Gallagher and like basically a load of old blokes and their girlfriends.
So many sailor suits as well, but not just women wearing them, men wearing them too.
Oh
like
yeah,
bodybuilders,
yeah. I mean, at least
like fucking proper.
yeah.
It's
Oh,
nice.
the AG kind of school uniform and in all its forms is great for cosplayers, and there are quite a few there. Big hairy blokes and young girls and all sorts in between. That was a nice touch. And I think probably when they look out into the audience and there's like plenty of people all dressed up, you feel a bit more appreciated, don't you? That people are actually sort of getting into the vibe and taking you seriously, and going along for the ride. And
I'm gonna quickly get a glass of water. Be 1 second.
No problem.
Okay.
Chris, you got one of these. This mug.
I know. Oh, nice. That Bish one. Is that Bish
Wanna
sticker?
turn
That?
around. Yeah.
Ooh, that's actually Gakko sticker. Nice.
And there's tiny little rolling quartz too.
Did the music feel different live for Atarashii Gakko at all?
You got to use the translator.
I wouldn't say it was that different. They obviously had a backing track, which I guess is pretty much off the recorded, tracks and whatever. Certainly the vocals live is a little bit different, but it was pretty slick. And you've also got that chance to kind of have a bit of a mess about and change up the lyrics a bit, rephrase things and sort of give your members different parts, that you would expect. So. Oh, look at that!
He just wanted to change his top.
That wasn't for a button. He wasn't going for the water.
Well, I'm going to change now. Yeah, give me take me 2 minutes.
What you're saying is that you're replacing Love Bites with Atarashii Gakko. Just being clear about that, Christopher. That's what you're saying, right? You're replacing Love Bites with Atarashii Gakko. Just wanted to be 100% clear. Throw that out to the way.
You don't deserve that Midori pick.
I think,
There you go.
as a complete aside, I think that would be a great collaboration. To have the AG ladies, with a Love Bite soundtrack, and then to like sort of have a proper song and dance routine, and just like interject in the choruses or something. That would be hilarious.
That would be fun.
That would be fun. What was
I
it?
think Fammy would be down for it more than anyone. I think Fammy would definitely be down for it. I'd love to see
anybody that. That girl work with anyone.
100%.
Wait, you can hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. I heard you all along.
It's for nothing.
it helps me.
I thought
It gives
you
me
just
time
prompted
to.
me with a notebook.
What was the atmosphere?
You-
What was the atmosphere like for the Atarashii Gakko show? Like, how was the crowd? Was it like more casuals, or was there a lot of passionate people there? Like, when they were singing and dancing and stuff, or was there more people watching, or kind of like more people, rocking out?
Tell
Shall
you,
we say?
I didn't record much because me memories was full. You should have seen the place was jumping.
Is it good?
It was literally like a little mini festival.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Every song, people, full energy, and I'm looking at them
Yeah.
going, I've done my third song, and I'm out of breath now. Like, how the hell you got all this energy? It's like, how many cans of Coke can you have? Like, seriously, you know.
It's not that type of Coke they're on, probably.
Yeah, you're probably right there. Yeah, there's a little bit of something in there.
It's got to be.
Yeah.
I think that's really good that you say that, because I was a little bit worried with the Love Bites gig at the beginning, because it was such a small crowd. Like, when they first came on stage, I kind of looked around. I was like, it feels like it took like a song or two for the audience to kind of warm up, if that makes sense. But eventually the crowd did obviously in the pub pick up, and then obviously instantly regretted the crowd picking up, because it was like a freaking sweatbox in there. Did you have the same problem with the AG show? Was it hot, or was it a lot better conditions than the Love Bites were?
There was more standing around beforehand, but once they got going, no one really cared.
Yeah.
Just jumping around and nice.
Yeah. Like I said, I've never come so close to passing out in a show before, but I came pretty close in that Love Bites one. Near the end, I had to check my phone. I was like, holy crap, I've got like 20 minutes left. I was like, I'm going to power through, but I was kind of like, that's the first time I've ever been to a gig and felt the heat like affecting me. As you guys know, I came out of that gig and the first thing I needed was freaking water. I was like, that water was like the nicest water I've ever tasted in my fucking life. Needed that, but yeah, it was crazy conditions in that pub.
Saw the video of you drinking a beer before you went in, so it's like you were setting yourself up for dehydration.
Yeah, right. You know, I hadn't had a decent drink like probably all day since I was traveling that day, and then probably all I drank was beer and cider. So yeah, probably set myself up for failure straight away then. But like I said, I haven't come out of a gig ever before. Like I've been warm and I've been hot, but that Love Bites gig was the first gig I was kind of like, I was like, holy shit, I might not make this all the way through. But I was like, obviously, for the sake of content, I was like, yeah, like I got a choice to leave. You're gonna stay here. You're gonna get through.
Wait, are you saying that the only reason you stayed was for the sake of content?
No, I'm gonna. No,
These spies.
Yeah, you kind of.
But you're gonna get there. You're gonna get to the front. There ain't no way in fuck I'm giving it up.
Yeah.
So
that's the real thing. Once you're at the front, there is no going to the toilet.
Yeah, there is no going back.
Leaving the front. Once you are at the front, you are at the front until everyone else leaves the room.
Yeah, but
interesting you should say that. But we met up with another friend of Chris and myself, this chap called Jan, who I think Neil met at the Baby Metal concert back in November. And anyway, when Love Bites went off before the encore, which is another couple of songs, he thought, I'm just going to nip down and get some merch before everyone else floods down there. And apparently on the way back, like Love Bites were all just like waiting in the corridor, giving it another 30 seconds before they went on, and he's going, "Oh, hello."
Yeah,
all along the line. And was slightly embarrassed that he was kind of like walking past with a massive great bundle of shirts and merch and everything.
Yeah, I
guess they probably appreciate it, thinking, well, here's our paycheck in the evening. All these shirts.
There was one part
that
made me laugh. I didn't actually mention this in the video, but as I was downstairs in the merch store, where I was stood, the ladies' bathroom was right behind me, and I saw Midori. The back of Midori enter the girls' bathroom, and I was like, was that Midori? Like, am I seeing things in the back of my head? And then there was a girl that, like, opened the door to the girls' bathroom, literally, like, 30 seconds later, opened the door, and obviously it was Midori, because this girl opened the girls' bathroom and went, oh my God! And I was like, yep, that was Midori. It was quite funny. I did have a little giggle at that. I was like, imagine that, just going into the bathroom and there's like the person you're there to see is just there, stood in front of you. Crazy.
Well, especially if you're a guy who's into women's bands, and that would make it all the more confusing.
That's true.
I was about to say, Love Bites were probably looking out at their fan base going, well, at least we're safe in the toilet. We can get a bit of alone time in there. That's our green room now. We're all just going to retire to the toilet and get
Yeah. That's probably the one thing I regret from that gig is we went to the pub like pretty much straight after, and I wish I'd gone back in and tried to find the girls to take a picture, because I know lots of people took pictures, but we went to the pub straight away and I didn't. At that time, I was, like I said, I was suffering a bit from the gig and I just needed a glass of water like ASAP, and I did not think to take 2 seconds to go back in straight away. And now I've seen some of the pictures of everybody taking pictures of the girls. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. So yeah, that's probably the biggest regret of the concert for me. So,
is anyone doing the 1st of July also?
I want to go to the 1st of July one, but for me it's too expensive. Like I can't get back down to London again.
Okay.
Otherwise I would.
I'm desperate to go. I don't know if I can get the time off work. That's the only trouble. And I'm guessing that by now tickets are going to be pretty scarce unless you're going to buy a resale one at like stupid money. So yeah, much as I'd love to, but then I'm going to save up my pennies and maybe day trip the Rum Kicks gig. And I hear that Otsubake Beaver are coming too. And obviously then keep my powder dry for like some of the big bands. I'm hoping that maybe near the end of the year, Scandal might come back, Friday might come back. Lots to look forward to. And obviously, Chris and I got tickets for Rolling Courts in January, which a long time ago when we bought them, and then it's kind of like rolling around fast. It's only another 6 months ago.
Yeah, I might have to ask you to pick for Chris to pick us up another Rolling Quartz ticker. I missed out on them. I missed out on
That was the most Liverpudlian you've ever sounded. Just in that moment, it's the most. God, get another Rolling Quartz ticket.
No, I already had these two taking the piss out of me when I was there. How much they actually turn around and go, "Oh, your Scouse is coming through a little bit." I'm like, "Shut the fuck up!"
You should just walked around the pub going, "You soft Southerners."
Just walk in,
nearly fainted.
Yeah, I know. I tell you what, like I said, I've never suffered like that during a gig before. But yeah, no, I think it was just traveling. Lots of beer. I probably didn't prep myself properly for that, and felt
everyone crammed in. Was it like that? Just like
everyone's
crammed in.
It was yeah. It was no conditioning, no fucking hot air, no water being passed around. It was like you were stuck in a shoebox. The windows were fogged up. It was getting hard to breathe. The thing was as well is like I was recording. And I was trying to record in like 30-second bursts. I said this before, I don't try to record the whole song, I just try to do 30 seconds, and then I try to put my phone back in my pocket, although Love Bites were testing my ability to enjoy the song because they would do something else like 30 seconds later. I was like, fuck, get my phone back out! So I was like... There was
too many good moments.
There was too many good moments or so that was going on. I was like, oh, fucking in, out, check it all about. But when I was... You could see, there's other people that were behind me that are taking the gig. And I was giving it, like, I was proper headbanging and jumping up and down, like, when I wasn't recording stuff. So I was going, like, fucking all out, trying to enjoy the experience when I didn't have my phone out as well. And I just think it all sort of caught up to me near the end. But, I mean, if I was feeling it, the girls must have been feeling it. There was 1 or 2 times I think the girls were feeling it a little bit because you could tell with Asami and especially Fami at certain parts during that show, they were a bit... stoic, like just like taking
they were obviously up there putting in all the work, and if they were obviously in the exact same environment as everyone else, obviously less crammed on stage, but still not exactly like free and running around. I mean, it was a small venue, so I mean that must have been a really hard work show for them, I imagine. Do you kind of get the did you get the image that they were really battling through it?
No, I wouldn't say battling through it, but I think there was definitely moments where I think Asami was definitely feeling it, because in between takes of songs she was like like woo. So I think they probably felt the impact of it, but I'd like to think there was a fan or something probably on the girls on the stage. I couldn't see one, so correct me if I'm wrong if you guys could have.
Well, let's ask Christopher's cushion what that thinks.
Yeah,
Christopher's
yeah.
cushion. Oh wait, no.
Oh,
Christopher's
back. He's back. I wanted more cushion time.
I don't know what to do with that statement.
Yeah, that could go either way, that one.
I wanted to say though that no show has ever been as hot and as cramped as that Hanabiya show that Chris and I went to this time last year. That was underground on a scorching hot day, and it was really, really packed.
Oh wow!
And we stood around for a long time, and it had a warm-up band, and everyone was jumping around and headbanging and everything. And yeah, we just kind of melted that day. It was so hot.
Even Yukina said, "Can you give me a beer? I'm hot." And she's from Japan.
Yeah.
So, you know, for Yukina, man, I love that.
Where was that?
Oh,
I don't know.
That was the hardest question I've asked.
It was literally in a basement with no aircon, and
Sounds
even
like Camden Underworld or something.
something like that.
Yeah.
I'll have to do that. Yeah.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, I felt faint there. I literally nearly passed out.
Yeah. Is that the gig you puked on somebody?
Yes.
Damn. Okay.
It's not really the nicest story to tell. But, so yeah, I felt faint. I puked on someone, went to the bathroom, sorted myself out, and come back. And I'm thinking, I'll come back to near enough the same spot. And the guy was a champ. He could have fucking decked me one or whatever. But he said, "You all right?" And I went, "Yeah." He said, "You do realise you were sick on me?" And I was like, "I'm so sorry." He shook me hand. He said, "Don't worry about it. But just please be careful and don't mix your drinks or whatever you've done."
I'd like it if he went to shake your hand and then slipped up some that landed on the floor and just fell.
Yeah, you know, yeah. Something honestly bad before you come out for a gig.
I'm loving that London's getting so much love at the minute as well. It's great.
You're loving that through gritted teeth. You're loving that.
Well, as somebody who lives up north, yeah, definitely gritted teeth because like, obviously they need to come up north a little bit less, so I let us travel. Although if I say that, then I wouldn't meet these glorious bastards as much as I do. So there's positives in that as well.
Well, yeah, you would because we were all staying around your house.
So I know. Plus, it gets me away from the kids for a bit.
Together, I'm intrigued because I know you two pop up at a lot of gigs together. How many have you both done together now? So Hanabiya, LOVEBITES, Atarashii Gakko. Any others? You two?
Rolling Quartz.
Ado?
You guys have seen Ado.
We've got Rolling
Quartz.
You're like a gig
Warning.
Team. You did the Warning.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Warning.
Yeah.
And what was the other Japanese one? Oh my god.
Rico. And the Wisely Brothers.
Wisely Brothers.
Wisely
Yes.
Brothers?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So you guys have done quite a few gigs together now at this point.
Yeah. It's in a way, it's a testament to the community because I didn't know Chris until I just chatted with him online on your Discord, and then sort of we kind of followed each other around, and then we just met up just before the Scandal show 18 months ago, and just said I'll be at such and such a pub if you want to meet up, and then he kind of wandered over in his camo jacket. That's why I didn't see him, and
You can't miss me.
The surprising thing was that first occasion, being both massive music fans, we sat there and had a beer, and all Chris would do was talk about cars.
I'm fine with that. I got no objection to that at all.
Yeah, I don't have any objection, but you think if you've got something in common, that's what you would talk about, and it obviously wasn't. But it was fine, and we've been great friends since. It's been a pleasure to kind of hang around with him, go to shows with him for afterwards. Because I think in the past I've been to a few. Yeah, I think in the past I've been to a few shows, and I've basically got on my own because no one wants to come with me, or the family's been busy or not interested, and it can be a little bit lonely. And if you can just meet up with a few people and have a bit of a kind of, bit of banter and a few drinks afterwards, it makes it all that much more special. So I really appreciate kind of being joined by a few friends older than you, and I'm quite a talkative person.
Well,
I always end up talking to people.
You're starting your own.
Anyway, so.
You're starting your own little cult now, Trick. You got me in there now and everything.
Cult of the Jammies.
I'm so glad that you three people who I've never met in my life before are having so much fun together.
Oh,
The
We'll get you a
sadness.
plane ticket to England then. Come on.
Surely you will come here to where we have
we
the
will.
music. Come to the music. Come to us.
Come to a
when
bandmate
Leon wins all
concert
that
in
money
Japan.
on the football, we'll be over there. He's got a massive accumulator going.
Football?
When Scotland
What's
win it,
happening with football?
So I'll
there's
have
some
bandmate.
tournament going on. You wouldn't be interested.
Okay, so someone's betting on football. Okay. Best of luck, my friends. I have no idea if that's even a good idea or bad. Oh dear. So as a result, you guys though, like you've been to quite a few gigs together. You've got plenty more planned. What would you say for you makes the perfect gig for a Japanese band coming over to the UK? What for you is like just the right setting for them? Like some good things you've experienced. Because obviously you don't want to be crammed into a place where you're all boiling to death. That's the first thing we gathered. But what were some things you picked up from really good shows?
But for me, it's about interacting with the crowd, chatting to people before and after. And I think, personally for me, that Wisely Brothers show was the best. It was a really tiny venue. We saw the band having a drink in the pub just before we went down into the basement. I got, like pole position. It was so close to the stage. I could have just reached out and pushed all the buttons on the pedal board and whatever. They were absolutely fantastic. And and then Chris dashed out and got a picture afterwards. So it was really good. It was the best, most intimate thing. And it wasn't, it's that kind of music that's not sort of headbanging and kind of moshing. So you actually kind of sit there and really appreciate it and
Take it in a bit more.
Yeah,
And do you think like the interaction, the fact that like most of these bands can't speak English might actually be a net benefit because it kind of simplifies everything and it's more like interaction through like body language and stuff? Would you say that's the thing, or?
I don't think it's been that much of a problem. They've obviously made an effort pretty much in all the ones I've been to, to say a few words in English, to introduce themselves, and I think the crowd really appreciate it, basically for the music, the kind of lyricism, and they're not that concentrated on the actual lyrics as such. They're sort of deeper or happy meaning. So they
I
just
more mean
appreciate
the
music.
interaction directly, like so. I mean, because they can't like talk to you in the crowd, especially. But you like you said, it's an interaction, like in the way that you're closer to them because it's a smaller, more intimate venue. So there is a feeling that like despite there being a language barrier, there's like a sort of interaction through body language or just like the
yeah.
size of the venue.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And I think for the most part, it really shows in the appreciation, sort of the way the crowd kind of like cheers and dances and sort of encourages them on, and then sort of in reverse. I think the artists can always see that, and that they kind of understand that not everybody in the crowd's going to understand everything, but I think that warmth normally sort of shows through.
What's your
That's lovely.
Both directions.
What's your favorite like genre to go and see for these bands? Obviously, you've seen a lot now from heavy metal to pop and dance and stuff like that. Is there any particular genre you guys prefer to go and see for gigs? What gets you the most excited?
Bit of jumble, as long as just a bit of jumble, as long as they're fantastic artists and they're cool.
Has there been like a sort of a dream artist where you've been especially starstruck?
Oh yeah, Kanami, bandmate. I love her. I just want to see her. Come to UK.
Oh, I was about to say, so you haven't seen her yet, but has there been one which you have seen where you were really starstruck?
To Mummy, Scandal.
Yes, I can see that. I can see the love for the squeak of the dolphin.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's. I can kind of imagine. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was going to say I can. All right.
I don't think that goes for me. I'm kind of older. I'm over this kind of like boyhood crush on anybody now. You know, I'm kind of like there for the spectacle. I'm there for the kind of music, and you know, I have so much appreciation for them, like coming halfway around the world just to play a scruffy pub in the East End of London. You know, that means a lot to me, and I get a lot out of it.
In a way, though, there is something rather nice when you think about these bands who, up until recently, really, until like the last 10 years, like you would look at them and there would be very little chance of them ever going abroad. And so you would look at a lot of these artists and they would be like they would feel very inaccessible. Like you just kind of wouldn't expect to see them live unless you went to their turf. And now, like you say, you've got bands like much smaller bands as well, like you mentioned, who are coming over and like performing shows. And there's that thing where this person who you see their music videos or whatever, and they're in Tokyo, they're in this totally different world. That's where they're at home, and then suddenly, bam, there they are at the New Cross Inn, you know, just in this little pub in the corner in like little old London. And you're looking at them, and it's the person. And so for me, it's not so much like the like you said, the boyhood crush thing, although that does help, but it's the fact that it's just kind of surreal seeing this person transposed from their natural environment into your local pub.
Yeah. Good point.
I think for me it's crazy as well, especially with Love Bites. For me personally, is like you always see them on like videos and stuff. We've all probably watched like 1,000 videos and stuff, and they always look really good, really dolled up, and you think, oh, they can't possibly look that good in real life. And then as soon as you walk through the doors of that pub and see them on stage, you're like, holy crap, they are really all that beautiful in real life. You're kind of like, holy hell.
Here comes that boyhood crush again.
Yeah, no, but just like standard wise, like you always have like a expectation in your head a little bit. Like there's a few famous people I've met in person, and they don't look anything like they do when they're on like online or they're dolled up and stuff like that. They just kind of look like a normal person. But yeah, no, these Japanese girls in particular just seem to always be on their A game constantly, no matter where they are. It's
I'm amazed what you'll think when you finally meet me in person. You'll be like, yeah, so much more beautiful than I could have ever.
so that's exactly why I'm coming to meet you, mate. So.
Oh dear, yeah. I think as a general though, like I think the whole feeling of having these artists traveling overseas, having them going to these places is great. Having them performing in smaller venues, I think is a good thing, certainly so they can say they had a sold out tour, so they can do that kind of thing. But if that's going to happen, someone's got to get air conditioning. So, all right, that's like the one line. It's like, get air conditioning. Then I don't mind, have Love Bites playing in the New Cross Inn, but someone get the air conditioning. It's like, you have to think of that as a venue, surely. But yeah, I guess that's I get the feeling that if we could just sort out air conditioning, then we'd all kind of be all right with these things. And, Christopher wouldn't have to defile anyone's clothing. And, and then, have Neon wouldn't have to leave venues so completely hallucinated from his dehydration that he forgets that he actually can go and see the band. And then, Trick, Trick seems to be fine, to be honest, but everyone else would be... He's just hot. Everyone else would recover. I think that I think it would be kind of the one. It sounds like the one barrier. It's just get some air conditioning. Do we think that would be our number one on our wish list? Get some air conditioning.
Yeah.
Too expensive in the UK.
What was that?
Deodorant for the metalheads because they fucking stink.
God, yeah.
Well,
Jesus
in all
Christ.
fairness, I'm pretty sure you have to buy your own deodorant. I don't think it's on the venue to
find out,
spray you
right.
down when you walk in.
No,
So
no.
you walk in and the venue just goes, whip off your shirt right now, and
Yeah.
you get sprayed by someone. You like, put your shirt back on.
They should do. They should make that mandatory. Everybody has to enter a gig needs to fucking spray your deodorant. We all need to line up like that. Because I tell you what, I swear there's a couple of people in those gigs that has never heard of fucking deodorant at all. Full fucking stop.
Oh, don't even. Oh,
It was nasty.
They
Some
should-
venues. Sorry.
I don't even want to think
They
about
should
that.
have all the sprays and perfumes and aftershave like they do in the airport. Everyone kind of like goes around getting free samples.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's the opposite of like the aircraft cabin where everyone's had perfume and aftershave, and it must absolutely like think of every chemical going. Those cabin crew must think, "Oh, here we go again."
The worst part about being in these like metal gigs is like you'll be so fucking close, so fucking condensed, and for some strange reason, at every gig I've ever been to, some guy wants to set off fucking chemical warfare. Lets one go in the middle of the crowd. You don't know where it's coming from, but you can't go anywhere, and you're just like, oh my fucking god. Especially when it's all steamy and sweaty and it makes it just smell 20 times worse. You're just like, who the fuck is that?
This whole conversation is making me feel gross. It's like, do you know what? I would literally much rather have someone vomit on me than have to smell BO and farts. It's like, I do not want to be in a venue sniffing biker BO and some person's like fucking breakfast leaving through their digestive system whilst I'm trying to have a good time. This is not my idea of fun. I am traumatized by this conversation. I am
on top of
no evil, see no evil.
on top of Chris chucking his Davy carrots out his mouth at people.
This is why you should go to like idol gigs and pop gigs and folk gigs and not metal gigs and rock gigs, because I think the demographic is quite different in the audience.
But
What, you mean better personal hygiene?
better personal hygiene.
Yeah,
Although
kind of.
as much as you take the piss out of it, though, like there is something strangely freaking just you know you're in a metal gig with those things kind of a little bit, and we joke and say you'd want to go there without them, but it kind of makes the experience as well, doesn't it? So you know you're in a bar full of metalheads when it's all sweaty and no deodorant going around.
Yeah. You also need to tell most of them to go on a diet and get a razor and like have a shave, because that image doesn't exist. Or it does exist for a reason. It really does.
Do you know, I have seen some images, and like I was looking at it, I was like, does anyone in this venue own a razor? And it's true, I've seen that before.
No disrespect to James, but they all look like the comic book guy out of The Simpsons, slightly overweight, shaven.
I love how you didn't even you could have just not mentioned James, but you just.
Well, I know he's got a comic.
So sorry, James. Worst comparison ever.
Really.
I love them. Oh,
One
yeah.
day I'll stop by Chris's place and we'll go down to James's little shop and just like spend all afternoon like wasting his time because we've got no idea what to buy.
Oh, don't worry. He'll talk to you about what to buy. He'll talk to you about what to buy.
I'm sure he will.
Yeah, you haven't got a choice. You haven't got a choice. You enter it.
I wanted.
Yeah, you'll enter his shop and he'll turn around to you and go, "You're buying this, and this," and you ain't got a choice. Oh, okay.
If there's one thing that me and James have in common, it's an inability to stop talking.
It's ability that many people consider to be unnatural.
All right. Well, any sort of last tidbits of interesting things anyone wants to add, or do you think that kind of sums up the joys of your experiences over the last couple of weeks?
One brief thing is what we mentioned on your question and answer chat on Sunday. Quick plug again. I always find like when you come out of a show, Like there's a real buzz, a real high. And what I was alluding to the other day was like the day after I emotionally really crashed. And like, you know, it's kind of all over and we've got to say goodbye and we've got to go home and there's like nothing left to look forward to.
Do you
So
know?
for me, I think if I could go to a show every week, that would just like, you know, keep me on that constant high. But the emotional, you know, downside afterwards, you know, after that high and like the night,
That's a
really,
great.
it really hit me hard.
Yeah,
I think you might have kind of. I think you might have kind of answered the question inadvertently there, because when you mentioned like it's in my channel, back broadcast, like on the live chat Q&A, you were saying about like you were asking me, have you had that feeling after a show where you get the little bit of the sort of like the crash afterwards? And I was saying like I get more and more of a buzz when I go in, and then when I come out, I'm like in a dream state, walking around sort of spaced out, like I'm away with the fairies. But I think actually you kind of answered that, because earlier on when you were talking about this sort of lovely feeling of how, you know, you get to go with Chris and, you know, you have this thing and you travel and you'll meet up and everything. And I was kind of thinking it's in a weird way. It's like I never really get to experience that. I never, you know, it's just whenever I go to shows, I'm basically always going on my own. Yeah, I often know the people who like work in the bands and stuff, but I'm not going with them. You know, I'm going to see them a lot.
Soon, Howard.
And so,
soon.
Well, but this is the interesting point, is that like in a way maybe I think more of the crash you're talking about is the fact that the event probably has more strands for you, whereas I'm just going to see the music, and there's no just to that, but you get my point. That's the only thing I'm doing. You guys, it's more of a, you know, you have to plan it, you have to organize it, you get it together, you have meeting times, you talk before the show, you talk after the show. There's those extra strands to the event, and that might well be. So I wonder if that's the same feeling you had when you went to shows more solo, whether you still had that feeling, or whether that's more amplified by the nature of, you know, and especially because obviously these bands are coming to you. There's a big event quality because you're catching them just as they pass through. Whereas for me, it's like I get to see them, but I kind of know that they'll be playing next week somewhere within like train journey distance from me anyway. So I guess there is perhaps something a little bit more to it.
It's great going to with mates that you know are passionate about those gigs. I've done it with both on Flipside. The first time I ever saw Baby Metal, I took one of my old friends, Daz, and he had no interest in Baby Metal whatsoever. Like he just went because, you know, I was doing something in Manchester, and he was like, "Oh, I'll tag along if you want." But it's quite a different experience going. Like the missus, the girlfriend as well. We went to London to see Baby Metal. I took her with me, and again, she likes what I do content-wise, but she's not really not a big fan of Baby Metal. She's got no interest, and that's a different experience than going like with Trick and Chris when we all meet up. We're all talking about Japanese music. We go for a couple of beers, we waffle. It's a good time. We go into the gig. We have a few beers afterwards. There's something quite awesome and brotherly about having that kind of gang of close friends that you know that you're all into the same things, and I think that definitely enhances an experience, probably than going to a gig maybe by yourself, or maybe going with a friend that like maybe doesn't particularly like 100% what you're into. It's nice going back and forwards and having that buzz and just everybody kind of being a bit of a geek in that moment in time, and it definitely feels better for me personally. Hopefully the missus isn't but for me personally,
I know what you're thinking.
Yeah, I'm like that now.
So, Christopher, I can see you nodding along. I want to get you in on this bit. So, I mean, obviously, because this is, as you said, this is something where you, Uncle Trick is taking you to these things and everything, and it's been a bit of an experience for you as well. So, I'm wondering, kind of like how it's opened things up for you. You're feeling about all that as well. The compliments are too much. You have to run away.
Yeah. What was the question? Sorry.
So basically, more just generally about like how this has become a bit of a new world for you, and that I'm assuming you weren't really doing this kind of thing before, but you've kind of meeting other people, going to these kind of shows. It's a little bit of a new thing, and it's like it adds a really special event. It's a thing that maybe before you were into this you wouldn't have even thought about, and now you've got these really sort of special things. You're meeting friends for a new interest, and you're going to these shows where you're seeing bands who you probably couldn't have imagined of like 5 years ago. So just generally sort of your feeling on that, really.
So for Japanese bands in general, I started years back in 2017. I started with Baby Metal.
And was that just you at the time, or were you with any friends who were going, or
just myself? But just like just a general interest. But I never really went to any concerts. It was only. Go on.
Sorry, just a quick one. So our dear friend Trick has got to go, so we're gonna wave you off, sir. Take care. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for your time, Mr. Trick.
See you
All
soon.
right, take care, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll catch you later. Ears to the east, ears to the east, ears to the east. Yes, there we go. Early intro. See you later, sir. So we'll wrap things up with Chris though. But sorry, yeah, Chris, you were saying like so you were going with you were going to your first sort of shows.
Sorry, yeah. So like I forgot my train of thought.
So I was asking about like. Yeah, like the first few shows you were going to, I was asking, did you go on your own or did you go with people, and how that sort of adapted into like now where you're regularly going with like people you know.
So yeah, so the first gig I went to was with Scandal, but because of the Discord group, I met Tony. So I was meant to go there myself then, but yeah.
Oh, so that's nice then. It's nice to like.
Sorry.
No, so well, anyway, look, I know everyone's got to sort of like tune out about now. So we've been here for about an hour, and I really appreciate I really appreciate everyone who joins us, but Christopher, especially yourself. I know that you came to join us for like a failed attempt to do this yesterday. You were here while we tried to make you download an app to do it today that didn't work. And you have tolerated a huge amount to be with us, and we sincerely appreciate your patience. It's an absolute joy to have you with us, sir.
Do you want to do the outro, Chris? Go on.
I think we should. We should let him do it. So you have to tell people to keep their ears to the east, and then you decide which.
You decide what direction is, because we don't
know where you are. We don't know where you are.
Okay.
So until next time, people.
We will keep our ears to the east. Love you.
Love it.